Hey everybody, thanks for checking out my YouTube video today. Um, where I am today is out on my front porch, and this is a video about my little greenhouse slash seed starter that I built. It's more of a seed starter than a greenhouse. It's obviously small. It's not like I can walk into it, but it works under the same principles as a greenhouse. I have a hard plastic film covering the top here and the sides. Front and sides are covered. The back, I left a solid piece of 1/4 inch board, which I insulated, as you can see, with the silver foil bubble pack type stuff, um, to help conserve some of the heat at nighttime when it gets down cold in the 20s or so. Occasionally, we may get some 20s at nighttime. I live down here in the southeast, and we still get cold nights. I'm in the foothills area of North Carolina. We do get cold nights from time to time in springtime. Um, so you have to have a way to conserve some of the heat in here. Usually what I'll do is, if I know it's going to be a very cold night, I would cover over the greenhouse with a blanket. And also, what I have in here, as you notice, this black mat with the green writing is a what they call a seed mat or seed starter mat, and it's actually a glorified heating pad for seeds. And what that does is it gets up to around 80 degrees Fahrenheit, and it keeps the soil temperatures in your peat pots at a near 80-degree temperature, or somewhere in that vicinity. Helps the germination process speed up, and I've done this for a long time, starting my own seeds for plants rather than buying them, because I do plant quite a bit of stuff. It would get expensive to go to any of your big retail stores, box stores, and buy them in the garden center. So I grow 90% of my seeds. Very seldom do I buy uh, plants from a store. Anyway, getting back to the subject here. As you also notice, I have more than one plant in each container right now, and generally I do that as a habit, especially with older seeds. The germination rate is not quite as good as a fresh packet of seeds that was purchased for that year or the prior year growing. So as a habit, I always drop in more than one seed, and then what I'll do is I'll thin these out. I really should get to it soon. I'm running a little behind this year. I'm a little later than I normally would be, probably by a couple of weeks, due to some issues with seed supplies from a new company that I dealt with. They're not a new company, but they're new to me, and they had seeds on back order, and it wasn't marked on the website. And actually, after I ordered them, I got a notification several days later that they were back ordered, and well, you can hear that thunderclap there. Yeah, we're getting some rain and storms moving in today, if you haven't guessed. So I don't know how much longer I'll be here on the front porch. Try to wrap this up quickly as I can. Also, speaking of heat, there is a thermometer in here, as you can see. Temperature is about 68 right now. I've had this lid open for a while, and it's cooled off in there. Usually with the lid down, it'll stay up in the upper 70s to 80 degrees, depending on temperatures outside. Also, I have to keep that lid up during the day. On sunny days, it gets very hot in here. I also have a couple of blocks of 2x4 that I can prop the corners up with and kind of regulate the temperature. But that thermometer also will send a signal into the house to my indoor thermometer unit that I have, so I can monitor the temperature from the house and see how things are doing during the nighttime to make sure it's not too cold in here. Also, speaking of temperatures, what I've done is I've put several layers of this foil lined bubble wrap down. You can get it at like your home improvement stores, to prevent the heat from the heat mat being pulled away from the heat mat due to the outside temperatures, I set this down on my patio or deck out here, so that helps insulate it from the wood and keeps it from getting most of the heat pulled away from the mat from the outside air. I hope this helps give you maybe some ideas for a way that you can start your seedlings rather than do it on your windowsill like I used to do in the past, and cause a lot of problems with staining of the windowsills, and of course the water dripping out and cleaning up the dirt messes. This has been ideal for me, and it's light and portable. I can move it back into the garage when I'm done. And the other thing that I do for watering is went to one of the big box stores, got one of these 1-gallon sprayers, very cheap, and I fill it up with water, pump it up, and I set the spraying tip on finest mist I can make, and I pump it up, and then I can just sit there and spray everything down and get it good and soaked. And it's not too hard on the plants, especially in the very beginning when they're fine little seedlings. I don't like using the sprinkler can. It just comes out too harshly on the small plants. Tends to knock them down, and then they're laying in the dirt. So that method I found has worked pretty well for me. So I hope this maybe gave you some ideas for maybe something to do-it-yourself project this summer. It's getting later in the year now for the growing season. So some of you may already be growing. Maybe some of you are thinking about growing. If you're up in the Northeast, it's a little early yet. If you have any questions, please leave me a comment below. I will try to respond as quickly as I can and answer you back. I hope you enjoyed this video. And if you did, please give me a thumbs up. I always appreciate that. And thanks for watching and spending your time here with me. And you have a great day.